phone.
There you are. But I've got no volume.
We had a little bit of technical difficulties last night, but we are back. Everett, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing tonight?
You know, not too bad. I'm doing things on my laptop tonight. So, because it seems to me like my phone portion that I usually use. Anyway, news and notes. Where the hell begin? Everett, where do you want to begin at, my friend? We've had some penalties overturned. We've had some penalties issued. When it comes out of, have you heard about the front row?
Yeah, I'm here. You're lagging out, so I'm not hearing everything you're saying.
Can you hear me now? Oh my gosh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
So where do we begin with the news and notes? Yeah, I can hear you. News and notes.
Okay.
How about the whole 2311 situation?
I mean, that's a mess in the making right there. I mean, you got NASCAR now countersuing 2311 and Front Row Motorsports, co-owner, the 2311 co-owner primarily, Curtis Polk, based on the conspiracy and agreement and unreasonable restraint. I mean, it's getting sloppy here, based on what's going on. It's hard to take sides on it, especially on my end when I understand both sides.
Trying to let other guy in.
It's just a huge mess.
Yeah, huge mess. Let's see. It says here that today's counterclaim by NASCAR is a meritless distraction and a desperate attempt to shift attention away from its own unlawful monopolistic actions. NASCAR agreed to the joint negotiations that they now attack. When those joint negotiations failed, they used individual negotiations to impose their charter teams, which most of the teams decided that no choice but to accept my client's lawsuit. Has always been about transforming NASCAR into a more competitive and fair sport for benefit of drivers, fans, sponsors, teams, because of the love of the sport. Every major sport goes through a transition to competition when antitrust claims are asserted, and that moment has come for NASCAR. Today's baseless filing changes nothing. We are confident in the strength of our case and look forward to presenting it at trial. Jeffrey Kessler. What is the issue here? I don't understand. I don't understand the whole issue here. NASCAR knows that they're doing stuff dirty. Why are they trying to blame another team for their own actions?
Well, you also got to look at it for the fact that 2311 and Front Row Motorsports signed their original charter agreement, and now
Mhm.
they're just because negotiations didn't go their way. Apparently, they're wanting to be able to have their cake and eat it too, and that's kind of how
Well,
I see it.
there was also another issue there where um, from sources on the inside, NASCAR came through at the last moment and said, "Sign this deal." And that's if that's what happened, they were kind of bullied into signing that deal, because if you don't have a guaranteed spot. So
Mhm.
you're kind of up against the wall there.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's just I look at it this way. It's just naysay or hey say. And also, do you guys remember the Trace Briscoe penalty, the L2 penalty that they received from Daytona?
Yeah, I seen that got overturned. So I mean
Yeah.
that's
So
good for
Chase
that team.
Briscoe and Joe Gibbs Racing have won their appeal of the L2 for the modification of a single source part. Spoiler base is 100 points back, no suspension to James Small, and no fine to the team. If that's the case, then why wasn't Parker Klingerman's team's appeal overturned if that's the case? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's something that our founder Kevin Marble, which a shout out to Kevin. He is working behind the scenes as his father is going through some severe medical problems right now. So we're sending our thoughts with him. But do you think NASCAR is inconsistent when it comes to certain things when it comes to their sport?
I mean, that's tough. I mean, it's two completely different situations. One was the vehicle was too low, and then the other one was a suggested modified part or wrong
Mm-hmm.
part. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
two different aspects of the rule book here for you to interpret. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Kligerman one, that one, from what I've read and what I've seen, they're stating that NASCAR told them that the front end was too low, so they raised the front end up, which ended up bringing the back end down. But no one cared to check the back end throughout everything, and then come post race, it's too low.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a sense, to me, that falls on the team for not checking that. Also, you can't just blame NASCAR on that. Plus, they said that with the Kligerman deal, that they wish NASCAR would check everybody the same. And I mean, to my knowledge, they pretty much check everything the same when it comes to that, the heights and things like that. So,
Yes, they definitely do. They check heights
Mm-hmm.
before you go out, all four corners. So unless they put the sticks on the back after they made that adjustment, which more than likely they do, and just somebody just
Mm-hmm.
overlooked it. And that's also kind of on the team. You've got four guys per car, 6 foot away, and you got to be looking. And if your stuff's too low, you got to be on the ball. It's a go no go gauge back there, and I think it was a very minute uh, amount of it being too low in the rear, but you're talking about 200 plus mile an hour. That's a lot, and unfortunately, like you said, it's
Mm-hmm.
apples and bowling balls.
right.
It's more of just they just flat out overlooked it, and either it's an error in the tech line, but you can't put it on the inspectors. You got to have your guys looking at the heights at all four
No,
corners,
you can't.
and and unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
they got stuck with their hand in the cookie jar, and poor Parker Klingerman's wondering what the hell he's got to do to win a race, and but
Right.
again, with the inconsistencies, the cautions at the end of the race once again reared its ugly head, and I think it was Atlanta.
Yeah.
So again,
Mm-hmm.
you got a car upside down flying through the air at Daytona. You don't throw a yellow, and then all of a sudden you're throwing a yellow during the truck race. It's like, come on. There's got to be some sort of criteria there.
Right. Right.
I
And
agree
there
with
was
that.
also, yep, I would agree too. And also, Austin Cindric penalized after Coda. Number 500 team hit with suspensions. Personally, as an Austin Cindric fan, should he have been suspended? Yes. But here was NASCAR's reasoning for not suspending Austin Cindric for this upcoming race. He stated, Mike Ford stated, Cindric wasn't suspended and included the race being on a road course with lower speeds and tighter confines, and that the incident didn't lead to a caution that led to those super suspensions. Suspensions occurred on 1.5 mile speedways. Therefore, Cindric has lost 50 driver points and was fined $50,000, dropping from 11th to 35th in standings, which kind of pisses me off. In addition, the number 2's penalties, and number 5 Hendrick Motorsports team will be without Jackman, Brandon Johnson, and tire front. The number 5 Hendrick Motorsports team will be without Jackman, Brandon Johnson, and front tire changer Blaine Anderson after they were suspended for 2 races as part of the safety violation penalty noted in sections 8.8, 10.4 A and C, tires and wheels of the NASCAR rulebook. All of that is like, what, to my brain, but I understand, like, the tire fell off. If I stand correctly, the tire came off of Larson's car going down one of the turns. Is that correct?
I believe so. I wasn't. I know I've seen the pictures of the car going around the track without the tire. I wasn't in the room when that part of the race was going on, so I didn't catch everything that had happened there.
Mm-hmm.
But the tire did come off the car and was rolling
Now,
away.
Chris. Mm-hmm. Now, Chris, you're a pit guy. Those rule books, does that include the same rule book for local short tracks and for your local short track, or is it just for like the major NASCAR series with
The only time you'll
those
see
tires
a guy,
and wheels?
the only time you'll see a
rule
guy
book.
get suspended is at the cup level or the, one of the big 3. ARCA is a little different. Most of the time you're running with, either, guys that are on the road crew or just a bunch of fat truck drivers like myself. So most of the time the guys, if there's some type of violation, they handle it in the race, either by, parking a guy a lap or, do it, or fining them or giving them a stern warning. ARCA is a completely different animal, and that's where I've been. But
Right. And Everett, you're a tire guy. Is that something to be expected? A loose lug nut can instantly tear an entire wheel off, or does that have something to do with how the tire is placed on the vehicle?
Basically, it's just how they put it up on the car. They didn't get it all the way up probably didn't get it all the way up there. So when they went to put the single nut on, it just didn't feed the nut all the way on. So it allowed it to come loose under pressure, and that's how it goes.
Giggity.
yeah, those single lug nut setup, there's some detent pins that actually sit inside and lock into that wheel. And those pins, you can put the lug nut on, which is a single nut. And what probably happened at Coda is it did not lock those detent pins into the backside of the wheel. And obviously it worked itself loose. And they've had the problem with that the last couple years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um. All right. Well, we had a bunch of racing over the weekend. We had IndyCar and Indy NXT, plus the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. We're gonna start with the Indy NX race. Did you guys get to catch the Indy NXT race?
Yes, I did. I thought it was a pretty good race there.
And what are your thoughts on the Indy NXT?
I mean, it was. I mean, pretty much as expected. You got a bunch of rookies and younger drivers in that series. I mean, you had Dennis Hogger take the pole and lead every lap, and he's a rookie. That's the first time ever in those cars for him. So I mean, that was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive there. Just
Yeah. It's
all in all, it was great competitive racing and great showcase for most of those kids' talent.
yeah. And what's crazy about Dennis Hogger, he came from Formula 4 and Formula 3.
Yeah.
All right. And as Everest mentioned, Dennis Hogger race. Second place went to Lachi Hughes. Third place went to K.O. Cullett. And what I think is unique about Chayo Collette's number is Chris and Everett. Do you guys remember the old Union 76 that the Cup Series used to use way back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, his logo, his number on that card is the orange and blue 76 with the 76 look like the Union 76 number on his car for HMD Motorsports. Miles Rowe was fourth. Salvador de Alba was fifth. Jordan Messick was sixth. Jonathan Brown finished seventh. Eighth was Callum Hedge. Ninth was Josh Pearson. Ricardo Escoto was 10th. Nikita Johnson Mafia Flourish, 12th. Bryce Harron, 13th. Haley Deegan, 14th. Tommy Smith, 15th. So positions 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 were all HM Sports. Not a bad wheel race. Jack William Miller was 6th. Sebastian Murray, 17th. Liam Seats, 18th. Nolan Aular, 19th. James Rowe, 20th. Evgaras Papasavas, 22nd. And Max Taylor rounds out 23rd. Now, HMD and Chip Ganassi Racing. HMD Motorsports has majority of the drivers in the field. Isn't that?
Yeah, but that's still a great 23 cars in a what was Indy Lights is a pretty good car count. If you remember what the series looked like prior to Penske backing it, it was very, very small fields.
Oh yeah, and then also shout out to Josh Pearson. I mean, he had that electrical issue in qualifying, so he didn't even get to run a lap. He started shotgun on the field and still came home ninth with no practice, no qualifying in his car.
None whatsoever.
But yeah, it was a 1-2 finish for Andretti Global, with Lockie Hughes and Dennis Hogger. So I mean, for Lockie, I'm excited to
Mhm.
see where this season leads him. I got to interact with him last year during the USF series when I was traveling with Continental, and great kid. Be interested to see where this opportunity leads him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then so then we had the St. Peter's, the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, and I tell you what, start to finish, that was a heck of a race.
It
I
was a
was for
nail biter.
sure.
That's for sure.
I was for sure that Joseph Newgarden was going to pull something out of his sleeve. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the interview with him or not during practice, but he says he wouldn't see himself anywhere else other than IndyCar because he says IndyCar is where it's at. Now, I would love to see Joseph Newgarden do Project 91 with Trackhouse.
I can see it happening. I mean, Justin Marks is really
Because I feel like that would be a
showcasing
great.
their program to get drivers like Newgarden
Mhm.
I mean, obviously we just had Elio Castroneves in it. Connor Zilic technically was Project 91 under just the 87 for Trackhouse. So I mean, he's showcasing these elite drivers, and I think given the right opportunity, it could happen.
Mhm. And I want to say
There is
props to
one
Fox.
caveat with that. Who does
What's that?
Newgarden drive for? The captain, Roger Penske.
Exactly. So if anything, it could be a fourth car, but then you also got to look at the fact that Penske IndyCar is Chevrolet. So I mean, it would work out for Trackhouse to run them.
It would. I'd love to see. I would love to see maybe some sort of a deal come together. I mean, NASCAR needs stars, and you're not going to get any better than Joseph Newgarden. He's becoming a big star in the IndyCar Series, and now the IndyCar Series has finally got a TV partner that's that's actually doing them justice. I don't know if you've seen the graphics package and everything and the theme. I thought they were going to rehash, just the regular Fox Sports theme. They're using Kickstart
Mhm.
My Heart. I mean,
Right.
if that don't get your blood pumping before an
Mhm.
event, you're dead.
Well, that and the fact that
Right.
Fox's coverage attracted 45% more viewers to St. Pete than last year. So they had an average audience of
Yeah.
1.4 million
That's the
viewers.
most. Yeah. Other than the Indianapolis 500 since 2011, that was the most viewed IndyCar race in a while.
Yeah, since
So
since the most watched non-Indy 500 NTT IndyCar race on any network since 2011.
That's huge.
yep,
And
yep.
really for the IndyCar series to survive, I know that the Indy 500 is the centerpiece and the coup de grace, but it has to have big time events, and you have to have a TV partner that can give every event a big fight feel.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that
Mhm.
Fox is willing to broadcast them, they're broadcasting Indy Next, the lights. I mean, it shows that they are in it for the long haul to help back the IndyCar and kind of bring it back to its heyday that it used to be, even when it was competing against Champ Car and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember it
And
being on NBC back in the '80s, and it was an event. It was kind of chopped up a little bit. Um, it was kind of part of their sports world uh, presentation back in the day before people had cable TV and a wide release, and it was just, they did just that. They gave every event a big fight feel, and that's what hopefully the folks at Fox are doing, and that's what they are doing. So we just got to keep that energy going into the next event.
And I think we lost Jordan.
I was about to say, I think we lost our host.
should we just we can do this, right, Chris? We don't need Jordan here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess.
So
I
yeah,
mean, we could go through the final rundown here. See, this is why I switched to doing this on the computer with the headset. No echo, no lag. So
I know.
I'm
Welcome
always
back, Jordan.
Jordan's back. All right, let's
I'm
do
always
it.
doing. I accidentally clicked my computer off. Anyway, here is your finish. Let's do this for the camera on real quick because Chris, I am wearing something that I wore at Mid Ohio with y'all.
Yep, I got one of those too. I got
my
one
old.
of them. I need to hit up my guy at Driven Sunglasses so I can have a Nichols Racing one made up.
I'll just wear my Continental, Hoosier,
I know
or General Tire.
I know
one.
they're having struggles getting to Phoenix.
Yeah, they are. He called
but
me. But
here's your finishing order.
Speaking of Penske, he's hauling his trailer down there with a Penske truck.
I saw that. I heard that one of the trucks broke down.
Yeah, the starter went out on the truck.
Damn,
that's crazy.
They just don't have. They just never have a good time getting to Phoenix, do they?
I'll tell you what. I've done that drive. It sucks. It sucks. In my opinion, we don't have any business going all the way down there. ARCA's always been kind of a Midwest, East Coast series. But, I get it. They want to try to get those guys, on the West Coast, some time to run with the national tour. I think have them bring their stuff to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it when they had the East-West race at Iowa.
Not to mention, ARCA is featured in a NASCAR video game for the first time ever.
I'm waiting for my copy from Alex. I want to get that special Alex Club cover edition at the Morris, Illinois Walmart.
Nice. All right, we're getting off topic here. All right. See, this happens if shit breaks out. All right, Alex Palou is your winner. Scott Dixon second. Joseph Newgarden third. Scott McLaughlin fourth. Kyle Kirkwood fifth. Marcus Erickson sixth. Felix Rosenquist seventh. Christian Lundgaard eighth. Renus VK ninth. Alexander Rossi 10th. Pato O'Ward 11th. Graham Rahal 12th. David Malukas 13th. Santino Ferrucci 14th. I can't believe he's still racing. 15th is Christian Ross Munson. Colton Herta 16th, Connor Daly 17th, Kyphon Simpson 18th, Callum Elliott 19th, Robert Schwartzman 20th, Stingray Rob 21st, Delvin Del Francisco, Jacob Abel, Marcus Armstrong, Nolan Segal, Will Power, and Lewis Foster round out your 27 car field. Again, phenomenal race for the IndyCar Series. Their next race up is Barber Motorsports. No, incorrect. Their next race is Thermal. The Thermal Club, which is now an actual race and not an exhibition challenge. like last year.
Interesting. They're actually going to pay. They're actually going to pay points for that race. So
So
that's
it's
going to be
gonna be
interesting
that.
to see.
All right, yep. It's because of how successful the $1 million challenge went last year. Went ahead and decided to throw it as a race this year.
I would like to see some more ovals come back to the schedule. I mean, road racing, I get it. It's open wheel racing. It's, make it like kind of like a Formula One competitor, but we need some more ovals. I know that the
I
Milwaukee's on there and
Iowa,
Iowa,
Nashville,
Thank God they got rid
Gateway.
of that terrible street course in Nashville.
I love the street course personally. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, they go over that bridge, and that gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. As a guy that's seen cars get airborne, I'm like, no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, but no. So Roger Penske is in the process of trying to bring IndyCar back to its glory days. Michigan, Richmond, Dover, possibly getting them back to Texas, taking them, bringing IndyCar to Charlotte, adding Phoenix and Homestead back to the schedule. So Roger Penske's cooking something up.
I'd like to see him go back to Michigan. That was one of the most insane races. And they put on a hell of a show at Auto Club when it was, when it was around, and probably one of the best 500-mile races I've ever saw was there. And unfortunately, there was about 2,500 people in the stands, so IndyCar never went back. But it was 4 and 5 wide racing, and it was a hell of a show. It scared the hell out of the drivers, but it was a hell of a show.
Oh yeah, but let's talk some NASCAR. All right, so we had COTA over the weekend. What are your thoughts on the new short course at Circuit of the Americas?
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. That's
fair.
That was some great racing on that circuit. I feel like it fits the stock cars a lot better than the long course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that long course is mostly for like IMSA, Formula One. The track was originally built for Formula One.
Yep, it was the U.S. Grand Prix.
Still is.
Yep, it's been.
They still run it there in
October.
Still is.
Yep, they got 3, or do they have 4 U.S. dates? No, they got 3 U.S. dates: Miami, the United States Grand Prix, and Vegas.
Miami, Vegas, and Austin. 3 dates for Formula One in the United States. I never thought I'd ever see that.
And it's like, and people enjoy. I enjoy it. I think it's great. All right. If my results will pull up, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Nope, not at all.
All right, cool. You know what? Because I have another tab open because my phone's being slower than molasses today.
Well, I mean, Chris and I were going to run the show without you when you dropped out. I mean, I think we'd be great, right, Chris?
Well,
I was just getting ready to do the results for the IndyCar race when you came back. I was like, well, we'll do the rundown here, and then here you come back. So I was like, okay, done.
Well,
Jordan ruined it for us. Dang it.
No. This is Jordan's deal.
No. Hey, I run this shit. I can do whatever the hell I want. Anyway.
Hey, Chris, we're getting off topic now, Jordan. Get back to the...
I'm back on topic. Chris, if you want to take Xfinity results and ever you want to do Cup results, you guys go ahead and take at it, and I'll put my feedback in.
Well, which one are we starting with?
Xfinity.
Let's see here. Let me go out to the let's go out to the taxi cab website here and see what we got in the way of results here.
He said the taxi cab web.
Yeah, we're talking IndyCar, so I mean now we're talking taxi cabs. So now, if you're an open wheel guy, you get it. Let's see here.
Now I get it when you explain it that way. Now I get it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's when they brought the Brickyard 400 to Indianapolis. You know, you had a lot of the old, USAC open wheelers are like, oh, I can't believe they're gonna be racing taxi cabs at IMS. So yeah, let's see here. That's the Cup race. We need the Xfinity Series, NASCAR's best product.
So while we're on the subject, 4 Wide Media this weekend re-released our drivers of the race. Our driver of the race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series was Connor Zilisch, who not only won the race but had a great performance. And Noah Gragson got the Cup Series 4 Wide Media driver of the race with his 8th place finish. Noah Gragson had the better performance of that entire race.
All right, so we've got our Xfinity. Speaking of Connor Zilisch, so we've got our official results from the Circuit of the Americas for the Xfinity Series in front of me here. Your winner, Connor Zilisch, led 26 laps to his first win of 2025. William Byron, the Cup ringer, coming in runner-up. And then Sam Mayer rounds out the podium in third. Austin Hill, old Bobby Hill, comes in fourth. Christian Eckes, ARCA grad, rounds out the top 5. Jesse Love, yet another ARCA guy, in sixth. Let's close this pop-up here. Okay, and Taylor Gray, 7th. Ross Chastain comes home 8th. William Sawalich comes in 9th. And Blaine Perkins in the 31.
What?
Rounds out the top 10.
That was a
Sammy
good run
Smith,
by Blaine.
11th. Sheldon Creed, 12th. Riley Herbst, Terrible Herbst, comes home 13th. Canadian Alex LeBay comes home 14th. Yes. Josh Williams, our favorite mulleted friend, comes home 15th. Ryan Ellis, another Xfinity Series privateer, comes home 16th. Daniel Dye, a former ARCA grad, comes home 17th. Dean Thompson comes home 18th. Ryan Sieg comes home 19th. And Brendan Poole rounds out the top 20. Anthony Alfredo, Faster Pasta, comes home 21st. Josh Bilicki comes home 22nd. Carson Koppel, 23rd. Nick Sanchez, who was in the ARCA Menards Series a couple years ago, comes home 24th. Jeb Burton comes home 25th. Austin Green, 26th. Kyle Sieg comes home 27th in the 28 car. Jeremy Clements, longtime privateer of the Xfinity Series, comes home 28th after a tough day. Justin Allgaier, once again, had a tough day. He comes home 29th. Brandon Jones rounds out the top 30. Corey Heim, Matt DiBenedetto, Chris Wright, Sage Karam, Harrison Burton, Preston Pardis, Baltazar Lezemon. I'm going to butcher that name. And then rounding out the field, 38, Carson Hocevar. Tough day for him. 62 laps behind the leader. Comes home 38.
Can you say Baltazar's name 10 times fast?
Legozamon. That's one of those things. I need a damn press guide for this guy. I mean, you're a sports car guy. So this is every day. That's like John Smith in sports car racing. But I mean, I'm like, who the hell's this? That's obviously a road racing guy.
I don't know if y'all saw the Twitter beef that was going on between Crush Balicki, but that mess was funny.
You know what? Here's the thing, man. Chris Wright, I don't know what the car owner that put him in there. He's been a weapon since he's come up to Xfinity, and I don't know what the car owner got for putting him in the car, but it should have been 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
I mean, heck. One thing I did forget to mention in news and notes: IndyCar driver Catherine Legg is making her NASCAR Cup Series debut this weekend at Phoenix for Fast Live Racing in the number 78 for BJ McLeod. She's the first woman to compete in the NASCAR Cup Series since Danica Patrick so many years ago.
Well, we'll see how she does. IndyCar, she was an okay IndyCar driver, wasn't absolutely horrible. So again, it's going to take it's a different skill set. I hope that she does well. And, I got a lot of respect for the small teams, and BJ McLeod's one of these small team owners. And, he runs pretty good at super speedways, but this is the first intermediate that team's ran in a while. So hopefully they can make the show and maybe make a little noise.
Well, they should make the show. I believe it's only
and what's crazy,
38 or 37 entries.
I believe it's 37 entries, yeah. When it comes to Catherine Legg, she did good at Daytona, but she got Amber Belkined.
Yeah, that was one of many.
She got Belkined, and then so far this year, Josh Balicki's been righted. So,
yeah, we're gonna have to see if we can get some of those 1-800 one of those 1-800 get right decals from Alex.
Oh, and to answer your question, Leguizamon is an Argentinian F4 champion or F4 driver.
See, I told you he's a road racer.
I tell you what, though, I gotta give these guys props, though. I mean, they are busting their butts each and every single week in the Xfinity Series. But shout out to Junior Motorsports for bringing in Connor Zilisch.
That's probably one of the best signings of the offseason right now. And Zilisch has really showed out and balled out in that car. I thought Daytona was just a glimpse of what we're going to see. This might be your favorite to win the championship in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, not to mention that is one of my favorite drivers this year. All right. Cup Series. What we got, Everett? What we got? I know we got Christopher Bell who won. What we got?
We do, but going back to the Xfinity real quick, I think Chris Wright will be the Xfinity Series champion personally. I mean, he's going to take out the whole field so he can get there, but I feel like he'll be the champion.
Hey, you know what? That's what you have to do with these 10-race playoffs, man. If you it doesn't matter how you do it. I mean, Brian France pretty much gave everybody what the boys have at it, said, hey, you know what? This is the system. This is the system you got to race under. And if you got to knock people out of the way, guess what? You're going to have to do it.
That's right. Sorry, I had to add a little bit of humor there on that one.
Oh, it's like Dominic Toretto said back in 2001. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
That's
damn
true.
Right.
That's true. But all right, Cup Series side, we had that dramatic finish there with Christopher Bell taking the win, leading 8 laps on the day. Coming in second, Willie B. Third was Tyler Reddick. Fourth, Chase Elliott, recovering from, I think it was a lap 1 accident he was involved in, if I remember right, or a spin. Lap 1 spin, came back to finish 4th, so great run there. Kyle Busch, who was leading late, finished 5th. Shane Van Gisbergen, 6th. Chris Buescher, 7th. Noah Gregson finished 8th, which was the 4-wide media driver. of the race. 9th, Alex Bowman. 10th, Todd Gilliland. Coming in 11th, Michael McDowell in the Gamebridge Chevrolet. 12th was Ross Chastain. 13th, Michigan boy Carson Hocevar. 14th, Chase Briscoe, who scored the most points this week by getting 123 points with his penalty being rescinded. 15th, Brad Keselowski, who fought for a majority of the race with a cool suit failure, who had to go to the infield care center and get some fluids. 16th, Justin Haley. 17th, Riley Herbst. 18th, Ricky Stenhouse. 19th, Ryan Blaney. And rounding out the top 20 was Bubba Wallace.
I see what you did there, bud.
My bad. 21st was Denny Hamlin. 22nd was John Hunter Nemechek. 23rd was Cole Custer. His sponsor this week is Andy's Cold Custer, so had to throw that in there.
The General
24th,
Cole Custer.
Yeah. 24th, Joey Logano. 25th, Austin Cindric. 26th, Josh Berry. 27th, the other Michigan boy, Eric Jones. 28th, the lesser of the two Dillon brothers in Ty, even though he's doing better than his brother, I think. 29th was Zane Smith, and 30th was AJ Allmendinger. 31st, Cody Ware. 32nd, Kyle Larson. 33rd,
Where?
33rd, Ryan Preece. 34th, Ty Gibbs. 35th, Austin Dillon, who got Hamlined. 36th, Daniel Suarez. And rounding out the field in 37th was Connor Zilic.
Well, sometimes you get it, and sometimes
Truthfully,
it gets you.
I honestly felt so
First
bad
and
for Connor
last.
Zilic.
Yeah, it sucks for Zilic. I mean, he had a great race kind of going. He had that early collision with his teammate on lap 50. I mean, it sucks. It really does for him. I mean, he has talent. I mean, it showed for the fact in qualifying, first time in those cars to come out 14th. I truly think,
How badass was it to see
I mean, I truly think he'll get a couple more starts this season in that 87 car, and we'll get to see his true talent.
I'll tell you, I'm looking at something very, very hilarious right now. I know it's a typo. On NASCAR's official results for this race, the last lap run by Austin Dillon was turned at 278.659 miles an hour. Move over,
What?
Bill Elliott. There's a new fast man in NASCAR.
But yet he didn't get the Xfinity fastest lap on that one. That was Kyle Larson. I mean, how did he not?
Points.
I know.
Oh, they're not doing that in this series. That's the Xfinity series.
No, they're doing it in Cup and trucks too.
Oh,
they're doing it in all
well,
three.
All right then.
Yeah, doing it on
This show's going off. This show's going off the rails today, Jordan. I hope you're happy with putting us together.
Whatever makes look.
Hey, I just saw
we're
it.
just we're just three guys talking about racing, you know. And you know what? Bullshit's gonna go off the rails no matter what you do.
Hey, we're just guys being dudes here.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
It's better to be a dude instead of it. Never mind. I'm going way political. I'm about to go political. Let me shut up now.
No politics in
Hey, the
streaming
only
here.
thing we're making great again is racing.
Ain't that the truth? All right, so now the question is, with Phoenix coming up, does Christopher Bell go 3 for 3, or does Kyle Busch finally get that he's been looking for?
Or do we all fall asleep because it's Phoenix?
Hey, come on now. Phoenix ain't that bad. I mean, especially now that they built that dog leg where they've paved everything. It looks like a land rush going into turn one there now.
I mean, with the Xfinity car, it's a good race. The Cup cars still haven't shown a good race there yet.
Yeah, like I said, the Cup cars are essentially Indy cars with fenders on them.
So we're going to go ahead and do it now because we won't be able to host. Well, no, we'll do it Friday, but Friday night will be our preview show for the weekend where we'll talk about our predictions for the weekend. But hey,
I agree.
Hang on, y'all.
What's being
Go
said.
ahead.
I agree with what they're saying back there, Jordan. Why he's disappeared. Chris, what's your takeaway from this weekend of racing?
You know,
Gentlemen,
the short course Dakota, I was not expecting much, but it actually didn't suck. It actually worked out a lot better than I thought it was. Because initially I was like, well, NASCAR took a look at this and said, how do we make this worse? Well, I kind of take that back now. It actually worked out pretty good.
And I agree. I mean, that whole turn 6 chicane situation, turn 6, 6A, 6B, when they reconfigured that, I think that was the smartest thing they could do to keep that track entertaining at that point, because it did add another passing zone, another element of surprise going into that corner. I do think they need to work on policing the track limits going into that chicane, because I lost track on how many times everyone kept going off into the dirt just set up for that corner.
I think about the only thing you could do is maybe, put a turtle, which would absolutely destroy the cars. You'd make people respect the track limits a little bit, but
I could always put that 400-pound block.
That too. That block. You hit that.
I'm just going to put in the fact. So I'm going to put in the fact that twice Everett mentioned Michigan Man to try and get under my skin. Did you say it about Brad Keselowski? Because I didn't.
Oh no, I forgot. Brad's the Michigan Man too. See, you got to remember, Jordan. I was born in Michigan, so no football was intended on that one.
Okay, that's fair. All right, well, gentlemen, this has been a hilarious show. I'm not even going to lie.
It's been great. I mean, it's like a 13-10 score or something.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Not a bad show. It's just a bunch of guys being dudes talking some racing.
Yeah. Well, we'll reconnect Friday night for our show to preview the weekend. And if it's more than an hour, it's more than an hour. We're just men talking about racing.
Right on.
Well, I mean, at my age,
right. Until then,
at my age, I do need my sleep.
Huh?
At my age, I do need to get some sleep.
You're what?
So it can't be over an hour.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's why we do.
I'm old man myself.
That's why we do it early.
True.
All right. We'll check back on Friday. Until then, everybody, y'all have a good night. This has been for Road Racing Recap.